Welcome back to the show.
I'm back. You're back. We're back. Let's go. You ready?
I'm ready.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about the value and the power of doing hard things as a family. But for those who are single, this can benefit you too.
Doing hard things.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of work around confidence recently. You know, a couple of my clients, athletes, everybody talks about confidence, right? And the power of confidence. And so I've been kind of looking at like, man, all the things that lead to confidence. How do you coach confidence better? How do I get better at coaching confidence? How do I then also then, of course, I'm like, how do I become more confident myself and whatever, all the things. And, you know, I used to think like confidence was like a part of like being for well-being and for performance. And there's this whole like confidence curve of like being overconfident. So like confidence and humility and all these different components. And so I've been working on a really exciting, this legitimately, it's so big, it might take me a couple of years, but I'm going to work on like a 3-year progression of like, where do you start? What topics are necessary to discuss? What are the process, mental skills, and where does credibility come into play with building confidence? So I love doing these type of like projects because it just forces me to explore and as a practitioner, but also then to get better at coaching.
Yeah, I love that.
So,
I'm excited about some conversations around that too.
There's going to be a lot that comes from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of nuances. It'll feel probably a little bit repetitive at times, but like that's what you have to do. So let's talk about credibility. What is credibility? Like knowing that you can do hard things that come from the past or what you're presently doing or in the future, knowing that like, yes, I can, like, this is my fundamental definition of confidence that I've come up with recently. It may morph and change and evolve, but not that I can do something, but that I can handle something. Like to go from performance, I'm going to win, or I can build that thing, or I can execute X, or what I can do.
Yeah.
But I know that I am somebody that is mentally stable, grounded and centered enough and continues to grow and evolve and do hard things in a way that I know I can handle this.
I love that because that speaks to the process and also the setbacks that can show up when you're doing it. It's not just about winning or achieving something. It's about handling any kind of adversity that comes up along the way.
Yeah, so you have to do hard things. A little bit of science. Let's go to a little bit of science first. That's where my mind always goes first. I think I'm saying this right. I saw it on the Huberman podcast. Mid-singular cortex is a part of the brain that's, I believe, frontal lobe. I didn't research this right before the podcast, so I'm going off of memory. So I might be a little off. So if I'm a little off, excuse me. Somewhere frontal lobe-ish. This part of the brain gets bigger every time you do something you don't want to do. And if you shy away, it gets smaller. From a mindset perspective, I would consider this to be like being the buffalo, being the person who approaches challenges with the motivation of growing, right? Of just getting stronger, having that credibility of doing hard things. When you do hard things, then you know you can do hard things. And then now life doesn't seem quite so scary.
Yeah.
Like you, again, coming back to that confidence definition, I can handle this.
Yeah. One of the questions I love to ask my clients is like, what's something hard that you've been through, done?
Yeah.
That you feel added to your confidence, that you feel added some credibility, that you learned something from.
Yeah. Because hard is not just physical. Hard is also, could be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, like any aspect, like in a lot of times they're integrated, right? That something, and this is the value of doing hard things physically, is that it turns into mental and emotional. And as a former collegiate football coach, somebody who like really thought I understood mental toughness, and I actually recently have been kind of semi-questioned by a few people that were connected to some of my clients, or like, what is this really about? Like, what is this mental coaching? Like, isn't mental toughness just showing up and just doing the hard thing? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, but there's a lot that goes into it. And I used to think that, making it so my players were tougher I just would have had to coach harder. And, you know, the thing that comes to my mind is winter ball, when we used to have a drill called the mat room. And I used to be in charge of the mat room, and I'd crank the heat up to 85, 90 degrees. And they had to come into this room that was this kind of dark and dingy room with wrestling mats. And then I'd do all kinds of crazy stuff and make them slide on their bellies from here to over here and all these directions of up downs and whatever. And I'd make it almost impossible for them to be able to execute it without making mistakes, and then send them back. And it was the hardest station by far in winter ball. And I used to think, like, just make it harder is going to flush out the weak and is going to make the strong stronger. And that was before me understanding, like, the value of, you know, understanding mental skills, right? And how to train the mind to be able to do hard things. And so I bring that up as a preface to say, like, don't just do hard things to do hard things. Like, do hard things intentionally to learn how to do hard things. Does that make sense? Like, and if you have some form of a mental model, one of the mental models that we learned from Navy SEALs was the big 4 of mental toughness, which we've kind of morphed and used in different ways. But the big 4 of mental toughness is breath control, positivity, visualization, and micro goals. And, like, how do you use those in an interconnected way? We use our model called BADA in an interconnected way. So when things you train it before you go out and do the hard thing, like, you learn how to use it. And then when you're out doing the hard thing, you employ it. So you actually get better at doing hard things while you're doing the hard thing. It's not just the act of doing the hard thing in of itself.
Yeah. It's a skill set that goes along with being able to do the hard thing, the mental skills. And then that is the piece that builds the credibility that I can handle anything. Because look at this. Look at what I've done.
You almost just lost me there, because I started thinking about my program that I'm writing. I started thinking about ideas. I should probably bring a notepad while we're doing this podcast right. Because I'm like,
that's actually very real time for us, because whenever we're on our walks, you're like, write this down, send me an email, send me a note.
I used to carry a little journal with me in my pocket, and I need to get back to doing that, because I'm back it's been a long time. I'm super excited, feeling so fulfilled right now, because I'm back in one of my creative modes where I've made enough space in my life to be creative. And I'm just so much happier when I do that I'm just working. Yeah.
I love that, because a lot of times I don't like to bring my phone, and I know you don't either when we go on walks. So if you have, like, a little notepad, that would be perfect.
Maybe we can
just write it down.
I'll start doing that again. Anyway, we just got off track. So credibility. So give me an example of how we have, and we haven't been perfect in this, but we're getting better at it. Do hard things consistently, either daily, weekly, or whatever that might look like. So let's just talk about that a little bit.
Well, first of all, permission to not be perfect to everyone, because who's perfect at anything? I don't know anyone.
Yeah, right.
So let's just say that first.
Process and progress in the pursuit.
Yeah.
Progress and the process within the pursuit is never going to be perfection. That's what we coach. 3 Ps. We set a goal to pursue it. We go do hard things. So we're in the process of doing hard things, and we can notice progress in that pursuit.
Yeah. So example, the Sunday rucks.
So tell me about those.
So this last Sunday we did 7 miles. I think it was 7-ish miles.
Yeah, I think it's closer to 8. It's like 7.5, 8. Yeah.
That's not the point, though. The point is just that we, as a family, went out, did something hard.
So let's pull it back. Yeah. Just make sure that we're not going to go into assumption. What's a ruck?
It's a weighted hike.
A weighted hike. Walk. Hike. Walk. Yeah. Hills. Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that, because I forget that people listening might not know what that is. So they're like, "What the heck?" They're trying to Google it.
When I first heard about rucking, I was like, "What's a ruck?" I don't know what a ruck is. Carrying a backpack, right? Whatever.
Yeah. So you put on a weight vest, a backpack full of weights, whatever you have. You and our son like to carry kettlebells
as well,
which gets some interesting looks from passerby. When you're wearing a 50-pound weight vest and holding a kettlebell over your head, walking down the road.
A little side story real quick, we'll get into it more, but this last Sunday, we're in the middle of a neighborhood, because we actually go on this loop where we have to go through a neighborhood and then we get out into nature a little bit. And then we come back into our neighborhood. But we're in the middle of this neighborhood in Colton, who loves to, force me to do the same things I have him do. A lot of this time, it's his idea. He goes, expect the unexpected, blank hold. So, weight vests on, all four of us as a family in the middle of a sidewalk.
We were in front of someone's driveway.
In someone's driveway doing planks. And then he's like, push up, down, up, push up, down, up. And I'm thinking to myself, this is awesome. First of all, my 13-year-old son's the one who's leading this to make it even harder. And it's his idea, and we're following along as a family. And that is super cool and fun for me. But then I think to myself, what will other people think driving by? And I don't care, but I just find it humorous.
Yeah. I thought about if the person opened their garage door and we're all out there doing planks on their driveway.
Yeah. So you carry and what ends up happening, especially carrying the extra kettlebell, for me personally, I love learning about myself, right? So all of doing hard things, and to me, the underlining mental skill, this is where I'm looking at my actually three aspects, my three buckets of the building confidence right now on my whiteboard, because I've been teaching it to a lot of people. So there's three basic principles. It's process, mental skills, and credibility. But then they weave like crazy all around.
There's all this overlap.
Yeah. Which I'm assuming this is going to turn into a series of podcasts about confidence, because we're starting with credibility. So is awareness. Awareness is a mental skill. And here's what I'm studying a lot right now from a scientific perspective is we're nowhere near as aware as we think we are.
Oh, yeah.
Not even close, right? So if you think, oh, I'm a pretty aware person, like you're less aware than you think. And this is me too. Like I'm less aware than I think I am. Yeah. And so I love to go do something and then watch my mind like resist it, kick back, create narrative. And what I have found is in the first mile, I try to talk myself out of carrying the kettlebell. And I'm even like, you can set it down right here. No one's going to care. No one's going to know.
Just go back. It's like when you pick up a dog poop with the dog bag and you're like, I'll come back and get this later.
So I have been taking a 25-pound kettlebell. My goal is to work up to a 40-pound, which, I'm not trying to do, it's not a competition, but it's just to do the hard thing, to be able to further watch the mind kick and scream. And it's kind of like going back to what Mike Tyson had some quote or in an interview somewhere. He said, like, I don't start counting sit-ups until they get hard, right? The training that we're talking about that creates the ability to use mental skills, and in this case, really the big four of mental toughness, of breath control and positivity, visualization, and micro goals, it doesn't really start until you're like, okay, this sucks.
Yeah, now I just connected a dot, because every time we do something like that, there's a point where you go, okay, now we're training.
Yeah, and I say it out loud because it's an affirmation that, like, I'm not going to be able just to keep walking.
Yeah.
And carry a normal conversation and just be walking and like, oh, look at that. That's a nice house. Like your mind doesn't work that way anymore. Yeah. Because when you're out for a walk without a ruck pack, you're without a weighted vest, you're like looking around and listening to the birds, and you're in conversation, and you're probably complaining about something or observing something or whatever your mind is doing. It's judging, it's analyzing, it's complaining, it's processing, it's planning, it's doing what it does on its own. But all of a sudden now you cross that probably about 4 miles-ish, 3 or 4 miles of carrying this weight and carrying this kettlebell and switching it back and forth. And of course we add elements to it of like holding it over our head and shoulder presses and curls and different things with it to make it harder. Then the mind turns into like, what are you doing? Like, it starts to it tries to resist it, right? It tries to get you to stop, turn around.
Yeah. How much further do we have to go? How much longer?
And then it starts to hurt. Your feet start to hurt. Maybe your knees are hurting. For me, I have a hip issue that I'm working through. So that starts to really just grab my attention. My attention goes from just it being wherever to being pulled down into my body of being like, this sucks, this is hard, how much longer can I make it? Am I going to be able to make it today? All this
Or
stuff.
maybe it's hot outside or whatever.
Right. You start sweating.
Yeah.
You're sweating pretty good, whatever it is. And so then now we're training. So now you begin to use the mental skills. Now you begin to breathe. And we're going to do another session on mental skills, or maybe a multiple of them, but you begin to breathe and, and be aware of your internal dialogue. And you begin to, have to like set micro goals and visualize yourself. Like, so legitimately you're like, there's the next mailbox. Let's get there. Mm-hmm. And you begin to train your mind to operate that way. So you're doing the physical thing that forces you to employ the mental skill. And then so when you're back out going through life and you get a hard phone call and that email or whatever, you're like, I can handle this because you made it through that. And here's what I'm going to tell you. My experience, whenever I've pulled back from doing hard things for a while, for whatever reason, got busy, forgot, just got distracted, it wasn't a priority, I'm not as good at it. That part of the brain, the mid-cingulate cortex, begins to shrink. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. And then life gets hard in other ways.
Yeah. And all the crave that's beginning to seems like it's dying down a little bit, the cold exposure stuff. You don't see it. I don't, maybe I'm not paying. I'm not on, I can't speak because I'm not on social media at all personally. So I don't know, but
I think it is still talked about as
is
like
it
one
still?
of the main training tools. And it is a great training tool.
But I don't care about the immune system piece. Yeah. I don't care about all the other components of whatever. I mean, stress relief, sure, whatever, it's great. Mm-hmm. I care about the one aspect of it for me personally is that I don't want to do it.
Yeah, so it's a great mental training.
Last night, I was getting in my cold tub before bed. I have a new routine in the evenings of sauna and cold exposure in the evenings. And so it takes about 30 minutes total. And I legitimately was over. I didn't even realize I was doing this. I walked out of the sauna. I walked over and was like hiding behind my truck. I walked away from the ice bath. I walked over to the side of the truck on the passenger side, and my forehead was against the window of the truck. And I was sitting there, and I kind of came to going aware of what I was doing. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I over here? And I realized I'm like hiding from the ice tub. I don't want to go in there right now. And so I walked back over and talked myself into it and overcame that resistance. Mm-hmm. How? Breathe, let go of judgment, right? See yourself doing it, get in. Then it's about micro goals. Can you do it for a minute? Mm-hmm. Can you do it for 2? Can you do it for 3?
You're inspiring me because I hate doing the cold tub and I haven't been doing it. So call myself out there in front of everybody.
So that's the personal aspect of doing hard things that you have to, and I want to scream from the top of a mountain sometimes about like the value of developing these mental skills, of how it just adds so much to your life. And the mental skills is, to me, is the foundation of confidence. Like, trust me, when you can regulate your state with your breath, when you can use your mind and have incredible internal dialogue and self-talk, when you can create images in your mind of you doing things and being strong and being centered and being adaptable and resilient, when you can know that you can break things down into microcosmic steps that you can achieve, maybe even this big project I'm taking on right now, when I looked at the whole idea and I realized what was coming into my awareness of what I was taking on, it was overwhelming. And then I thought, okay, well, write the first lesson and record that video. Mm-hmm. Oh, I can do that. That's easy. That'll take me 15 minutes, right? Well, and then do the next one, and then do the next one. And then today, this week, here's my goal. And then today, this is my goal. And then in the next hour, this is my goal. And then well, guess what? That's how my mind works. My mind works that way because I train it to do that. Yeah. So there's the personal self-advocacy of being able to actually train your mind, get it to work that way, get through the hard thing, get to the end of it. And that is incredible. Like Colton, who loves to do these things with us. And I promise you, if you're listening, that there's some nudging that happens with our daughter. There's zero nudging that I have to do with our son. And if anything, I have to pull him back. I have to tell him, like he picked up the 25-pound kettlebell this last Sunday. And I was like, no, you're not making it with that. And then he got mad at me. He's like, oh, I'm going to make it. And then, so I let him carry it for a while. And then he was like, you want to switch? Because I had the 15-pounder and I knew that I was going to get my 25-pound kettlebell back at some point. So it's a long ways to carry a kettlebell.
It's a long way. Yeah. And your grip starts to get, that's what I noticed too, is that your grip starts to get sore.
Afterwards, he says, Dad, that got so hard. I thought I was going to cry. And I thought, how cool is that? Right. That he was willing to put himself in that type of situation at 13 years old to like do something that invoked emotion enough to where he had to overcome that. And then we talked through it. Like, as we're going through it, like we're walking by this guy mowing his lawn and Haley starts going, easy day, piece of cake. And we start chanting with her, we got this. Oh yeah. Well, guess what? That's self-talk.
Yeah.
And now your mind's being programmed when something gets that hard again to the same level of hardness that you were at that point when you started chanting that and using mantra. That gets imprinted into your mind, into your cells, into your body at that same level of hardness. So the next time you come up to that same threshold of hardness, guess what your mind does? Easy day.
Yeah. It has a reference
Piece
point.
of cake. We got this. Oh yeah. And you don't even have to think it. It does it on its own.
And I love the identity that builds when you are doing it publicly also. Because this guy mowing his lawn, like he peeped his head over. He's like, what is going on?
This family walking down.
Oh, it's just those crazy people again. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it builds that identity for them as we are somebody who takes on a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, everybody wants to be that. So if you're sitting here, and you're like, oh, well, gee, but like everybody wants to be the person who approaches a challenge, and you should. But you have to start doing it, right? Whether it's going for a walk or carrying a rock. And just so proud of my family too, because this is something I've been doing for years. But then for me to not even talk about it, and for you to be the person who orders the weight vests for you and Haley. So now all four of us have a weight vest. Everybody's going to be carrying something, even if it's 2.5 pounds. They're going to carry something. Makes it harder to walk the dogs, but then I would say above and beyond that, where we started this conversation of doing it as a family, is I feel more connected. At that evening, the next day, it lasts for days, in my opinion.
Yeah, and plus, the team dynamic.
Yeah, man, you feel like a team, right? And all the team building and culture building and leadership development that we do for sports and for organizations, and it's like, man, don't forget to focus on the most important team.
Yeah,
right.
Your home team.
The home team, like Rocky, baby, home team. And we're Rocky Balboa fans, if you didn't know that already. Pretty obvious. But yeah, to do it, to take all these same exact principles and practices and do the things, right? And to do it, right? So
yeah, I work harder when my kids are watching.
100%.
It's like, I don't want them to quit. I don't want them to give up on anything that they want to accomplish. So I won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just sparked a memory. And we talked about this today on our walk for like 2 minutes. Years ago, Colton was probably 7 or 8, maybe. So what is that? 6 or 7 years ago. He started coming into the gym because he always came into the gym ever since he was a baby, but he started coming into the gym like regularly and like wanting to do things. And I remember thinking to myself, oh no, but this is my time. This is my space. It's my gym. It's mine. Right. And so I was kind of annoyed with him being in the way or whatever. And then I remembered, like, what are you doing? Like there's this window of time, and he's my why. My children, are my why, and my family is my why. And so like all of a sudden now you put him right in front of you, and it is no question now, years later, that I train harder with him. And now we train together every single day. Yeah. And now it's a connecting thing. Now it's something that brings us together, and it's our hobby together. Right. And it's so beautiful. but I had to get out of my own way. I had to get out of like, this is my time, and I had to make it about him. So now even today, the program that we follow is a program that I had written for him at his age to develop for what his goals are. Like, I'm not going in there going, what do I want to do today? And then he has a fault. Like, I'm like, no, what are we doing today that's best for you? And I will modify a little bit or do a little bit less weight in certain things. But it's putting your why right in front of you.
Yeah. I love it so much. I love
and you guys, and you and Haley have been going to bar together, which and getting up at
we go at like 5 a.m.
12-year-old. She's getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go to a bar. Like, man, so good.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with it, and it's great balance and coordination and all those pieces. But more than anything, it's just building a habit. Just building a
and then when she's watching you, you work harder, right? And then it made you feel more connected. It's like I grew up as a family, or my family prioritized eating meals together. Like, my mom was huge on it. Like, almost every, especially in the summer months, we was like 3 meals a day together. Like, we sat at the table, full table was set, huge meals. Our family was, kind of a farm family, right? And so that was always the case. And we do that too, but not nearly as much as we did growing up. And I would say this is more important, in my personal opinion, is to go out and consistently do hard things together as a family, and then have the conversations about it and work through the mental skills and to debrief it. And we
made a huge breakfast after we got back from the ruck on Sunday, and that was a time to come together and then talk about, hey, look at that, we just did that. That's so cool.
And now what do you want the rest of the day to be about? Yeah. So we're going to do another one this weekend?
Yeah, Sunday, I
think. Are we? Yeah. Unless we're on the boat. So we're taking the boat out, the water, it's been so cool out that the water will be cold. That'll be something hard to
overcome some resistance just to get yourself in the water.
So I would, my challenge, let's end with the challenge, would be start small, right? And people ask, like, how do you get your family involved? I get that question quite a bit from parents and people. I'm like, first of all, you got to model it. You got to be the person who's doing it. You can't say that you're a has-been. Right. You have to look in the mirror and you have to say, like, I'm willing to continue to do hard things, until the end. Right. Like, I'm just going to forever do hard things. And so wherever you are, like, everybody has a different Mount Everest, man. So, like, maybe it's not starting with a ruck. Maybe it's not carrying a kettlebell, but
we did a burpee challenge for a while. We were doing a certain amount of burpees every day. Like, it could be anything.
It could be anything. I think we were doing like 20 or 25 a day. Yeah. Was it? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it could be numerous things. It doesn't have to be, the big, audacious, scary thing that you never do again, but because consistency is so incredibly important as well. Yeah. Awesome. So go do hard things.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Yeah. Awesome. How do you want to end it?
Just want to invite you guys to follow, subscribe. Where are we? Apple Podcasts. Follow our show and leave us a review. We would love that.
And share it.
Yeah.
Share it with somebody if you think that there's value. And
we hope you like it.
Yeah. And reach out. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions,
we've got a link here in the show notes to text us. Yeah. Reach out to us. Let's connect.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.